Hello Uganda. Today we are going to learn what you can do at home when you have been cut maybe by a razor blade, by a knife or any other sharp object in order to prevent the severe damage that may come as a result of that particular cut. Many people do a lot of things in different communities. There are those who I know put cow dung on the wound. There are those who put dust. There are those who put charcoal. There are those who get that black powder in dry cells. Many people pound drugs or tablets and pour the powder on the wound. But today we are going to discuss on what you should do in case you have sustained a cut from any kind of object. These cuts can be of different sizes depending on what has cut you, and the bigger the cut, the more urgent it is for you to visit a nearby health facility. But there are some which are minor that you may actually deal with even at home, and given that these are days when it's not very easy for every one of us to access health facilities, you need to be equipped with this kind of information. So when you are cut, you may bleed depending on the particular part of the body that has sustained the cut. If the wound is small, usually the bleeding stops on its own. And if it's deep and it's very big, you may actually have to do something to arrest or to prevent more bleeding. So if it is continuing to bleed, you need to apply pressure on the wound. Let's get a piece of clean cloth, maybe a handkerchief or any other piece of clean cloth, and you wrap it around the wound to apply that bit of pressure. If you can have maybe bandage, it would even be better. You tie around the wound. If you can get a piece of cloth, maybe like a handkerchief, you fold and get something of this thickness, small, of that thickness. Then you put it over the wound and then tie it around with a bit of pressure, and that kind of compression will prevent further bleeding. After that, after you have stopped the bleeding, it's also very important to clean the wound with clean water and also wash around the wound with water and soap. Just ensure the soap doesn't go in the wound because it will be very irritating. And why we want to clean the wound and its surroundings is to prevent the infections. Because when the body is hurt in any way, the healing mechanisms start right away. So even the wound healing process starts right away, but this process may be interfered with if the germs contaminate this wound. And that's why it's important to keep it clean its surroundings, even the wound itself, because some of the cutting objects are sometimes dirty. So you want to remove as many germs as possible so that they don't complicate the process of wound healing. After you've cleaned, cover the wound with a clean piece of cloth, and you can keep changing that maybe every after a day. And if you can get bandage, the better. If you can get plaster, the better. Why we cover? Still, we cover to prevent any form of germs that will contaminate the wound and form pus, resulting to swelling, fever, and all those things. You can take a painkiller, which you can get over the counter, an antibiotic. All these you can get in a drug shop. Tell them I've got a wound, I need some bit of treatment. They will give you a painkiller, they will give you an antibiotic, still to protect you from these infections. If the wound is deep, if you have bled a lot, if you develop severe swelling, if you develop temperatures, high fevers, if you develop redness around the wound, please seek medical attention so that a professional health worker gets to see the wound and initiates you on the appropriate treatment plan. So those are some of the things you can do. In a nutshell, I've said stop the bleeding. If it is continuing to bleed, apply pressure. Clean the wound with water and wash its surroundings. Cover the wound to prevent infections. Mwanguzi Shadrack, Health Touch Uganda. Follow the light.